All right, welcome back. We're gonna start doing some of the diagnostic, and actually, the first thing I need to do is figure out that belt situation. Again, without having an alternator that can charge the battery, we're pretty much gonna have to rely on jump packs and battery chargers. So let's get that figured out right away. I'm gonna remove the air box out of the way. There's hose clamp on the intake tube here. Disconnect the MAF. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these out. And then there's just two 10 mils on the air box. There, see, it just pops right up. It is a Siemens MAF, so that's good. It is an OEM MAF. These cars generally don't like aftermarket MAFs. Plug that, and this one. Yeah, I mean, it's dirty. Oh no, it's actually a man. Wow. It's definitely worse for wear. The edges are all shot on it, so it's probably not sealing the best. So we'll definitely order a new air filter. Let's get these airbox stuff out of the way. We'll see what I just saw too. So if you remember in that the first video, we took a look at notebook that was in the glove box, and they mentioned radiator replacement. Look, there's a Nissan's radiator in there. That is awesome. Those are pretty good radiators. They're not the OEM, but it is a good radiator. So look, it's good that they spent a little bit of money getting a quality part in here. I don't have my light with me, so I can't look to see if there's a manufacturer on this expansion tank. But that may be something we do anyways. It's just a cooling system refresh. It's just good to do. And again, you can kind of see here, that's where that tensioner bearing was. Wow, that is so fried. Well, let me fiddle with that for a little bit, see if I can get that belt stuff out of the way. And then we can get the fan off and take a better assessment of what the front drive situation is. I do have the fan off the water pump. Now we have to pull the shroud, and both of those will come out. There's just a push pin right here next to the expansion tank. And then on this side is a T25 screw. We'll take that out, and this should all slide out. There's a nice big coarse thread, so it backs up. This is actually not broken, which I'm impressed. This is basically your air sniffer for your HVAC. Just test the quality of the air. I'm going to pull this. There's a harness down here for the fan. All right, now we should be able to pull out our shroud. Hold on our fan so that comes with. All right, now we got the fan out of the way. Let me get you some light in here. One thing I noticed, this this bolt on the water pump is backed off. Probably got caught on the belt. There's still some belt fragments stuck on that lower pulley, so we'll probably clean that out when we pull that belt off. That's not a big deal. Let's see if we can check these pulleys real quick. So obviously the idler was right here, and that's, I mean, there's grooves in it from the bearing being bad. So that was neglected for some time. That noise means that is no good, so we need one of those. Up here's more belt down here. There's a whole bunch down below. Fragments up here. But it doesn't look like anything else was damaged. Oh, look at that. BMW expansion tank. That is nice. Like I said, it looks like this car, I mean, it's been maintained for the most part. I mean, obviously the pulley thing wasn't, but someone's put some money into this thing. I don't know if I can see a date code on it. No, not that I can see, but I imagine it was probably replaced when they did that radiator. These hoses look good. One sign that you can look for when you're looking at the cooling system, these plastics will start to turn brown in color, and that basically means that it's degraded, and you know, you should be replacing it. Let's see what this thermostat is. Well, it's an aftermarket, but it's a BMW thermostat. And you know how you can tell? Right here, all those grind marks. They'll make these for BMW, the OE supplier, and then they just grind off the BMW logo. So again, that's awesome. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see any manufacturer dates. Looks like it's a bare thermostat. There is a date code, but I don't have my glasses on, I can't see it. So, but definitely looks like someone's put some money into it. This Vanos line looks brand new. I can see that people have degreased stuff, so it's probably had an oil filter housing gasket, although I do see liquid oil on the block. I don't think I can get you in there. So we might still have to do oil filter housing. We'll do that gasket. That's really cheap. Looks like the oil pressure sensor that's way back in here is old. So they didn't do the kit, but it does look like they put a new Vanos line in, so that is still good. I don't know if I can see the CCV under here. No, I can't really see it. So yeah, all things are looking pretty good. I don't see any coolant leak. The hoses all look good. So that's awesome news. There was no play in the water pump. I tried that as well. Also, guys, be careful of these pulleys. They can crack. So I might actually pull that off and inspect it for cracks. You don't want to lose that. Same thing with the power steering pulley. They can pop. Oh, that's another thing we should check. These pumps, they like to break. They like to shear the shaft. And what's fun is when they do go, you can actually grab the front of the pulley and pull it out. Oh, that's still good. That spins nice. Alternator spinning nice. Bearing on the water pump feels good. So I guess for this front end stuff, I'm gonna need the tensioner pulley. I'm gonna need the idler. We'll probably go ahead and replace the tensioner down here. This is actually the same as this one, so that makes it nice and easy. The belt looks kind of old, so we'll put 2 belts on it. And I can actually see some fraying on the side. Just reaching underneath the valve cover here, see if it's wet. Yeah, a little bit. Oh yeah, in the back. The next step is we're gonna go ahead and do a smoke test, but I think I'm gonna do that on a different day. It's starting to get kind of losing some light here. So yeah, I think we'll just do the vacuum smoke test tomorrow. Still gonna be pretty nice out, and then we're gonna get a real cold snap here for a few days down in the teens at night. So we'll be not doing a lot until then, but I did just notice, it's probably hard to see this, you got a little bit of coolant leak on this lower hose. So I might just go ahead and go through this cooling system anyway. I'm not seeing any other leaks anywhere. I mean, it could just be an O-ring, but you know, these things don't like to be overheated, so we might just go ahead and do a cooling system refresh anyway. All right, so I got the belt off on the bottom. Like I said, there's just some crap wrapped around this still. Pull that all out. It's coming off nicely, thankfully. Oh, we got one more wrap. Wow, that belt really got wrapped around. Still going. Oh, there we go. We'll put it up here with the rest of it. So you see all the, well, this is the AC belt, but you see all the rest of the belt that's shredded, and down on the engine band, I found the idler pulley. So that was definitely here. Here's the tensioner pulley. You hear that's loud. And the AC tensioner pulley, it's pretty loud. So we'll put 2 new pulleys on both. That one still spins pretty good, but it is noisy. This one stops pretty quick, doesn't it? Oh yeah. The other one's still spinning. So bearings are shot in that one as well. Not terrible, but they are noisy. We'll replace them both, get 2 new belts. We'll check this water pump pulley to make sure that's not cracked. But I think other than that, you know, we're pretty good to go. Like I said, we'll have to address that lower hose. I'll probably just order the E46 cool kit from SCP Euro and take care of that stuff. The radiator I'm not worried about. See if I can see a date on it. 2018 maybe. Tomorrow when I come back out, we'll do the smoke test. We'll get this thing up on ramps, check the steering suspension, make a complete mechanical list, and see what we need. All right, well, we had a half a day, a little bit warmer weather, so I'm out here replacing on the broken belt system. Here you can see this is all that's left of the original drive belt. This is the AC belt. You can see it's getting eaten up a little bit on the side, so you know we're going to need to replace on that. This is actually what failed. So this is an offset idler. It's supposed to go together like that with some ball bearings, and then something to keep the bearings in. Obviously that has long failed. You can see how grooved up it is. This was making noise for a very long time. I mean, we're talking weeks to months. This is the main drive idler. You can see it's a bit gouged up, probably from when it came apart or as it was coming apart. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the bearing though. A little bit noisy. I mean, not terrible, but it should be really smooth and quiet. So that needs to get replaced. This is the AC tensioner idler, and you can tell that that's the AC one because of the narrower groove, and that's just from years of belt wear. So this one needs to be replaced on too. But you can hear this bearing too. A little noisy, not as bad as the main belt, but definitely, why don't we replace it? So you might be asking, what's with the bolt? Well, I kind of came up with a little cheeky solution. I'll take you over to the car and show you. So I've got that 3-liter M54B30 from that turbo car. And once you know it, it has a good, had 2 good belts, had 2 good pulleys for both tensioners. Both engines were mechanical tensioners. Now the difference, I believe that engine was off of a E39, not an E46, based on the oil pan. And they did 2 different ways to route the belt. So you see this, there's no idler. The idler is what failed. And I don't know if you can see, so this has a flush mount Torx bolt for the alternator mount versus the bolt through idler. So just so I can move this thing around, not have to worry about the battery being dead, have power steering, etc. I went ahead and threw this stuff on. I haven't decided if I'm going to replace the belts and the pulleys. They're cheap enough, I probably will. And then just to have these again as good spares. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And we're not talking very much money. I think it was less than 75 bucks for the 3 pulleys and 2 belts from SCP Euros. So I did go ahead and tighten down the water pump nuts, the pulley nuts. One was loose, backed out quite a ways if you remember. And a couple others were, I think 2 were physically loose but hadn't backed off. The other one was pretty tight. As I was working on this, I noticed that this upper radiator hose is a BMW hose, just like this thermostat. And from what we can tell with the radiator, that looks like a 2018 date code. So likely this was all replaced within the last 6 years. It's probably okay, but I don't know. I like to be preventative, although I'm trying to do this on a budget. And we can see that we do have fluid in there, so that's good. It looks a little low. This float should be popping up a little proud of the top. You see it's low, probably from that leaking sensor. I do have a spare hose. I do have a spare sensor, but if I want to go through with it, I might as well just service the cooling system. Otherwise, mechanically, this seems pretty together. I need to get under it to see if we do have oil filter housing gasket leak. You can't see, but it is wet along the block, but that could be old oil. Let's go take a look underneath, see what we can see. Not much with all the let me pop this belly pan out. The leak there, that looks like it's just water from the weather. So let me get this belly pan off. Let's take a look. All right, we got the belly pan off, and what do we see? Typical E46 things. Everything's saturated in oil. Let's see. I mean, everything. I could have an oil pan gasket, because that's drop a subframe. We got a steering boot, both sides that are split. I'm hoping we got oil leaking from up higher. I need to just kind of reposition. All right, well, I had a look around. That's some good news, bad news. Definitely is oil pan. I don't know if I can get you up in here, if you can see all the way up or not, but valve cover area is dry on this side. You see how shiny and clean the block is, and maybe on this side of the AC. So that part of the block is all dry. So it definitely looks like it's oil pan gasket leaking, so that kind of stinks. If we look back here, there is, if I get some light on it, part of the downpipe. You can see there's oil staining on there. There is an oil drip off the backside of the valve cover, so it does need valve covers, gaskets, as I repositioned. That's one of the ball bearings out of that idler pulley. And there's the cover for the front of that to keep the bearings in. We look under here. Does not look like the oil filter housing gasket is currently leaking. Actually looks really dry under there, but it's all nice and dry. So they must have done that in the van, so that's good. A lot of remnants on the power steering pump, but not an active drip. So it looks like the last bit of our oil leak is that oil pan. So that kind of stinks. So I'll have to think on that. I'm gonna take a look at those bushings. I mean, they look okay, I guess. They just looked a little weird on the front. Well, I'm not really seeing anything. It doesn't look like the rack is leaking. It's just the boots are split. So we can get a boot kit, but we gotta check the tire rods. The transmission looks bone dry back there, so that's really good. It doesn't look like rear main seal's leaking. It's just the pan itself. All right, well, I'm gonna get the front up in the air, and then we can check the steering, suspension, brakes. All right, you can see we got the engine compartment back together, the airbox in, MAF's connected, fan and shroud are back in place. Just want to kind of have it together so I can move it around without any issues. You also see I'm gonna need some hood supports because they got tired. And you'll see we put some new grills on. These are just Amazon specials and they fit like crap as expected. They pop right back out, but I'm not spending $75 each to get the OEM, but I think that looks way better than the old ones. We got some clear corners coming. We'll polish those lenses up, make the front end of this thing look good. Why don't we start this bad boy up? We'll take it for a quick little spin. Start right up. Battery light goes out. Obviously we still have the engine light on. I haven't cleared the codes, and I added one for the MAF because we started it without the MAF plugged in. And all four jellyfish launchers are still in place. The ambient temp sensor is still broken. Oh, this thing's kind of a stripper for a 330. So no automatic headlights, no heated seats. So it's a warm weather package car, which makes sense being sold here in Atlanta. The driver window doesn't work. Passenger window does work. Let's see, can we do the back windows? That one works. And that one works. So we probably need a window regulator on this side. We also need a door pull, and it just so happens I have an entire door from that the green turbo car. So had a good window regulator, and it does have the door pull. So let's let me buckle up here. I'm just gonna take it around the block a minute. Let's see, do our mirrors work? Oh, it do. All directions, very nice. Let's see this side. That one seems to work. Nice. We got the heat on. Let's throw it on. It's on auto. Let's see, do we hear the... Oh, I heard the AC kick on. That's awesome. That means the AC probably works. So we'll turn it off. Obviously it's, well, it's not minus 40, but it isn't very warm either. Sounds pretty good. We won't beat on it too much because she is still pretty cold. Got about half tank of gas. Park brakes off. Yay, power steering. It wasn't too bad moving around without, but it did kind of not be fun. Oh, wow, she's jumpy. And we got a fast flash because we got bulbs out. Confirmed by the jellyfish launcher. It's really smooth, nice shift. A little clunkage, probably got worn, blown out shocks. I did shake down the front end. I apologize I didn't record it, but you guys already saw me do that on my 330, what I go through, grabbing the wheel at 9 and 3, then 12 and 6, checking out the steering components for loose movement or excessive movement, and did not see any brake pads. Look awesome. So I think we're good. Steering, suspension, outside of that, those shocks do sound like they might be blown, but it's expected with 246,000 miles on it. The good news is I might have a solution for that. Nice smooth power. I mean, it's basically the same car as my 330 Ci, but it's a little quieter with the factory manifolds, and it doesn't have the tune. Front end does feel light. I'm gonna have to re-inspect that stuff. Let's go and we'll turn around. So far, I'm not getting any heat inside the car. Said that coolant was a little low. I think we're gonna end up doing a cooling system service on this. Alright, we'll be able to give her a squirt here. Not bad, a lot of clunking from the back. That makes me feel like there's probably diff mounts that are blown out. I haven't checked out the rear yet. I still don't have any heat in here. Oh, I'm an idiot. We're on cold. Let's see if we got heat now. I don't think so, because we got an auto fan. It should be blowing. The front end is really loose. Oh, you know, well, I wouldn't say it's loose. It's just a lot lighter steering than my car. I wonder if that's something to do with the sway bars and the CHP control arms. Brakes feel really good. All right, I'm in my neighborhood, so I can't go crazy. Oh yeah, there's a good clunk from the back. We got diff bushings to do, I'm sure. Hopefully we don't have to worry about, I don't know, that on center is loose. That's a check for a different day. I'm cold and the heat in this thing ain't working. There's a big delay in throttle response. All in all, I mean, she runs out pretty decent. I'm gonna manually adjust this fan, center vent. No, she is stone cold, and we're smoky. So we probably definitely are dripping oil on that manifold. Let's pop the hood, just take a look. I'm not seeing it, but I sure smell it. So we're definitely gonna do a valve cover gasket. Maybe then we'll just clean everything up and then see how that oil pan looks. Which sounds nice and quiet. Sounds like an M54. We got this upper hose is stone cold. Lower hose is stone cold. So I bet we got a plug thermostat. So yep, we are gonna go ahead and order a cooling system service for it. Alright guys, well I'm gonna cut this one here. I'm gonna get some parts ordered. I'll get this video out to you guys, and I'll check out the rear end on another day. I mean, it's got enough stuff to start with. I do have the trunk lights ordered, so we'll get that looking better. And then we got to clean up the car. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.